On the second day of the presidential campaigns, Major General Mugisha Muntu held a rally in Sebina zone in Kawempe, Kampala. Muntu decided to have his first campaigns in Kampala because it is the heart of Uganda, with a day population of about 3 million people. The former army commander believes that one of his strengths is integrity, an attribute that the next president must have in order to change the state of affairs as the country grapples with different leadership issues like corruption, nepotism, and influence peddling.
We are a value-driven organization. That's what we want to plant in this country. We have been exposed to money when we could have taken it, we didn't take it. So naturally, I would want them to, put their trust in me, because I know that if it's the will of God and the population puts trust in us, that we can turn around this country. I have no doubt about that in my mind.
According to Muntu, since 1962, when Uganda attained independence, the country has never had selfless leaders.
They had the chance to build strong institutions, to build functioning systems, checks and balances, to observe the principle of separation of powers. They have completely failed on all that. Why? Because they are driven by greed, by self.
Muntu, who was the youngest army commander in the NRM regime before falling out with his fellow contender President Museveni, argues that if only people had means to read hearts of the aspirants, they would elect leaders with integrity and those that consider national interests before themselves.
Naye okutuukiriza ebintu bye twogera ku nsi kuno emirundi egisinga obungi abantu abasinga obungi boogera bye boogera ebirungi naye okubituukiriza kibeera kigumu.
Muntu's crowds were small, which was attributed to the candidates' compliance with Electoral Commission guidelines on political gatherings. However, most were not wearing face masks. Muntu used the opportunity to remind people to wear masks in order to avoid contracting COVID-19, which has so far killed at least 133 people in the country.
Mwena abasobola mugezeeko nnyo okufuna zino masks ate n'okulaba okwegendereza obulungi nga mugoberera ezo soaps ze bagamba okunaaba mu ngalo ne sabbuuni okwegendereza kwegamba kubanga tekuliko omuntu ayagala okufa.
One of the big problems that people in Kampala continue to grapple with is that of slums. You find such a place, they live in squalid conditions because it's a cheaper place to rent. So we asked the presidential candidate Mugisha Muntu what plans he has for the people, especially the slum dwellers, and also the people gave out their views on what they want the next president to do for them.
The people in Sebina zone live in deplorable conditions with open gutters littered with solid and liquid waste, which poses health risks such as malaria, typhoid, and other diseases associated with poor sanitation.
We have floods. It's just coming to rain, as you may see. But if it rains here, you may need to have something to stand on. Everywhere will be flooded. Leave alone that. The way of life here, the life that forces people to come here and reside in such homesteads, is because of the low rent.
There are a number of things that you must work on. One, you must know the land on which these slums are. Is it public land? Is it private land? If it's private land, that means you'd have to negotiate with them and buy it, and then you construct units which the owners can own. But you must also work on ensuring that they have the means to pay for the mortgages for those houses.
Many of the children in the slums are school dropouts due to the environment they live in, but there are underlying problems that the girl child faces in such slums.
As a community has no secondary school, and that would raise concern for any leader. For years, those schools that have tried to come up still fail, and maybe because they need support from either the government or other stakeholders to come and help. The thing I'm passionate about that is here and almost silent and invisible is the challenge also of child sexual abuse. Constantly we hear children that have been defiled, children that have been sometimes in their homes, and it seems like when these issues go even to the police, the culprits manage to bribe their way out of and come out almost freely.
Whether Muntu becomes the president or not, The persistent problems of these slum dwellers need urgent attention from any of the 11 candidates who will be voted into power. Sudil Biarhanga, NTV.